Philadelphia soul, sometimes called the Philadelphia sound or Sweet Philly, is a genre of soul music characterized by funk influences and lush instrumental arrangements, often featuring sweeping strings and piercing horns. The subtle sound of a vibraphone can often be heard in the background of Philly soul songs. The genre laid the groundwork for disco and what are now considered quiet storm and smooth jazz by fusing the R&B rhythm sections of the 1960s with the pop vocal tradition, and featuring a slightly more pronounced jazz influence in its melodic structures and arrangements. Style: due to the emphasis on sound and arrangement and the relative anonymity of many of the style's players, Philadelphia soul is often considered a producer's genre. Philadelphia soul, or the sound of Philadelphia songwriters and producers, included Bobby Martin, Thom Bell, Linda Creed, Norman Harris, Dexter Wansel and the production teams of McFadden and Whitehead, and Gamble and Huff of Philadelphia International Records, who worked with a stable of studio musicians to develop the unique Philadelphia sound used as backing for many different singing acts. Many of these musicians would record as the instrumental group MFSB, which had a hit with the seminal Philadelphia soul song TSOP in 1974. Notable extensions of the Philadelphia sound were bassist Ronald Baker, guitarist Norman Harris and drummer Tramps baritone ALll Young, who also recorded as the Tramps and would produce records themselves. These three were the bass rhythm section for MFSB, and branched off into a sub-label of Philadelphia International Records called Golden Fleece, distributed by CBS Records. Soon after, Harris created the Gold Mine label in conjunction with ALll Records. Gold Mine's roster included First Choice, Lolita Holloway, and Love Committee, all of whom would feature Baker Young productions of their material. Their 1976 hit by Double Exposure, 10%, was the first commercial 12-inch single. The ALll Orchestra was composed of key players from MFSB. ALll Orchestra, as its name implies, leaned toward R&B Latin-fused musical flavor. The group was conducted by one-time Mike Douglas television show band leader vibraphonist, Vincent Montana Jr., another founding MFSB member. Philadelphia soul was popular throughout the 1970s, and it set the stage for the studio constructions of disco and urban contemporary music that emerged later in the decade. This style of music had a very heavy influence on later Philadelphia acts, most notably Vivian Green, Boyz II Men, Jill Scott and Music Soul Child. Notable artists: Producers and songwriters. See also: Philadelphia International Records, Sigma Sound Studios. Further reading: Cummings, Tony. The Sound of Philadelphia. London, M. Methuen. Jackson, John A. House on Fire, The Rise and Fall of Philadelphia Soul. New York, Oxford University Press. ISBN 0-19-514972-6. References